are on air. I thought was the bridge of our ship. So here we are on board the USS Ford. Interesting, it's Stardate 86635.27. Here's our captain. I have done her up. Went about and sorted out her uniform. We're wearing the Sierra 2. Bridge officers, I've also done them as well. So I've done this all off stream after last week. The ship hasn't changed. So I've gone and upgraded. I've got everything that's level 2 and very rare. I've got a red matter capacitor, which is a helpful little thing. All my shields and deflectors and science consoles and that stuff. Not really much use really, but yeah, early game it's pretty useful. I've gone and got myself some kits and kit frames and shields. Also have my weapons. All my bridge officers are also got the same gear as well, different variants. So pulse rate of assault, minigun, sniper rifle, and a blast assault. So everything's all good to go. Before I carry on, I thought I would show the assets. So this is the in-game stuff. Cover all the so energy credits and dilithium are probably the easiest to get hold of. They come from missions and other things, and which I'll cover later when we get to the in-game. But the two easiest things to get: reputation marks, that's in-game. Salvages from breaking down parts. Gold pressed platinum, get that from playing double. And fleet assets, that's from when you join the fleet. There are also two other paid items, funds on this game: Zen and Lobby crystals. Zen is paid for by real money ordered coming into the dilithium store. Not dilithium, sorry, the exchange. So that costs. So you can pay for it with real money or so it's technically a free to play game, but anyway, I'm just rambling on. So what we shall do, we shall contact the Admiral. These are all the missions, so contact.
We have a diplomatic mission for you. An important Vulcan ambassador is traveling from his homeworld to the Monastery at Pajem. Capturing the ambassador would be a major coup for the Klingons or Orions, so we're assigning you to make sure everything goes smoothly. You are to escort Ambassador Soketh to Pajem. Please meet him at Vulcan. Once you locate him, speak with him about the transport mission. Do whatever is necessary to keep him safe.
Okay, so we'll pick this up. So this we'll get data recorder, a photon torpedo, personal shield, and some dilithium. So I'll now leave the bridge of my ship. I'm going to go to the exterior. Beam into nothingness. I find that funny the way it does that. So now I'm going to and exit out into our ship into the into the Sol system outside the ESD. Here we are. We're now outside the ESD in a tiny little Miranda, surrounded by all these people in their tier 6 ships. Yeah, not yet to 10. Okay, so we will now warp out of the system. So just go in here and warp sector. The sound you hear there is because there's an issue with the Discovery era ships. They've got their own They basically ripped off the
My
films.
friend sacrificed so much to secure peace with the Klingons. I bear the responsibility for the consequences to him and his crew. A thought that troubles me to this day. The hope was that this alliance would last forever. It did not. The Klingons have chosen war. The Federation is doing its utmost to protect its borders and the billions of innocents who call this space home. But I fear that this conflict may be our undoing.
Live long and prosper, Spock. Live long and prosper. Okay, so this is the This is basically the this is the galaxy map. The bulk of the stuff is done here. This is the entire beta. This is the beta quadrant. The red. This is the Klingon Empire, the Romulans, Borg space. And over here, I think it might load up. Oh, no. Yeah. And that takes you to the Alpha Quadrant, which is Bajor, DS9, Cardassia, and all that down here. So we need to head to the Vulcan. You can just click on it and it will take us there, and you plot the course. Vulcan's the nearest system, so it won't take long to head there. Get a little bit choppy lag there. Here's Vulcan, very much still around. Let's head to Vulcan itself. Into the Vulcan system. See, now after the tutorial missions, the bridge officers no longer have any dialogue, so well, no longer have any voice, so they no longer speak. So Travell, Eliza, Coez, and Zara no longer speak. So no spoken dialogue now from the bridge officers. So, Captain, we have arrived in the Vulcan system. I took the liberty of contacting the ambassador's aid when we arrived. Tapela says the ambassador has a certain arrangement that he prefers when travelling. She would go through over with you. Would you like me to put her on the view screen? Yes, on screen.
Greetings. Thank you for agreeing to escort the ambassador to Pajem. Ambassador Sokath is currently attending a ritual to honor the end of the Kalrek holiday. He will be done soon, but the ambassador is hesitant to use transporter technology. His bias against the transporters is not logical, but I have come to accept it.
Continue.
I believe that Sokath would be much more comfortable traveling by shuttlecraft. I have received clearance for you to land near the ambassador's location. I look forward to meeting you in person.
So aboard the shuttle on our tiny little Miranda. We are ready to land on Vulcan, sir. When you are ready to make the final approach, let me know. So there's our first officer, Ensign.
Starfleet shuttlecraft. This is Vulcan Orbital Control. You are cleared to land at the requested coordinates. Welcome to Vulcan. Please enjoy your stay.
Captain, the ambassador and his aide are waiting for you at the temple at the top of the rise. You can speak with them there and find out if the ambassador needs anything else before we depart to Pajem. So we have to speak to Ambassador Sokath. Well, so here we are. We're on Vulcan. There's our Type 9 shuttle. So could pop up and see him, but if you click left on the D-pad, you see that there's two anomalies. The first one's down this way. Well, actually, they're both down this way, but I'll also show you something else. You can visit Vulcan outside of a mission, so you can come here yourself. And I'll take you over. So the white light there, that's where the anomaly is. Show you this. This is the this is the monument to Nimoy. You can come here outside of the mission. You can just beam down to Vulcan and come here. Here's an active area. So the anomalies these are things for use for R&D. So you scan it and it gives you a little mini game. It doesn't really matter if you don't match it up. If you match them up, you get more items. Scan again. The other one's over here. It's normally deuterium. That's thorium gas. It's just play a little mini game. You match it up, and then you get your items. So now we head back. Past the monument to Spock, and back to where we were supposed to be. Oh yeah, that's Vulcan. It's not really much here outside of it. It's the only real mission that brings you here. So back towards our shuttle. Again, gets a bit Pacific. You have to go the Pacific way, otherwise it gets a bit shirty with you. I lost in the desert. Yeah. There won't be much of me running around, hopefully. So, run past our shuttle. So Pajem, for those in you probably already know, but Pajem was in Enterprise. It was housing a Captain Taggart, a propeller, has requested that you meet her before speaking to the ambassador. You get those little pop-ups down at the bottom. Pajem was in an episode of Enterprise, and the Vulcan High Command were using it as a listening post on the Andorians, and later it got destroyed. Shadows of Pajem, I think it was the Shadow of Pajem, something like that. I think that was the episode. I don't really know the episode names. Not of Enterprise anyway. So we'll speak to Ada Tapella. Welcome to Vulcan. Captain, I regret to inform you that we have have come to an impasse with your completing your mission. Allow me to explain. As you know, Pajem is sacred to the Vulcan people, and access to it is strictly prohibited. Ordinarily, this would not present any difficulty, but Savin, the leader of the order that maintains the monastery, has chosen this moment to illogically refuse to grant Ambassador Sokev's permission to be the abbot of Pajem. This is most abnormal. Can this trip wait until Savin changes his mind? The ambassador has considered going to the council to request that they overrule Savin, but the process will take time and that he simply does not have. If the ambassador is unable to complete his journey to Pajem now, he will have to delay it until the trade conference in Cauldron is complete, and could take weeks. I wonder why Seven won't grant the ambassador's permission. The ambassador, I'm afraid, has spent too much time off-world. I have seen that change him. His interactions with other species has grown easier over the years, but our own people have become more challenging for him to deal with. Perhaps you could speak to Savin. I know he has a great deal of respect for Starfleet, and you might have an easier time than he has convincing to grant the ambassador's request. Question Savin, and why he wasn't letting me, so let me speak to Savin then. So the abbot is over here. The high priest Savin, so we can get a little bit of information about Pajem from him.
Peace and long life. Do you seek knowledge of the ancestors?
So we can go straight down here, and you complete the mission, and you ask him why he doesn't do it, but you can get here a little bit information from this. So we'll do that.
Sarketh accuses me of abandoning logic, but he is the one refusing to explain his reasons for wanting to go to Pajem. The planet is sacred. Our ancestors walked those paths. They found understanding and serenity in its quiet. When I am at Pajem, I feel more at peace than any place else in the galaxy. Pajem has been touched by outside influences in the past. The Federation is at war. Now more than any other time, we must protect this refuge. Do you seek knowledge of the ancestors? Many years ago, Pajem was used for political purposes. Technology used to spy on the Andorians was hidden beneath the sacred sanctuary. It should never have happened. Buildings that had stood for 12 centuries were destroyed because we allowed politics and war in a place where there should only be logic and contemplative thought. When the monastery was rebuilt, we pledged to keep it safe from the cares of the galaxy. Only those who seek peace may enter.
So he's just said about the about when it was used by the High Command, yeah, spy on the Andorians. That was found by Captain Archer and T'Pol.
Do you seek knowledge of the ancestors? Even a people who reject emotion require peace and contemplation. We are a spiritual people. Our rituals guide us throughout our lives. Vulcans who choose a life of study and isolation, as the monks at Pajem have done, help us maintain our connection with our ancestors. The monks' study of Sirach's words in the Kirshara give us all a greater understanding of who we are and who we should strive to be.
That's another thing that was found by Captain Archer. I think it was the last season. Kirshara.
Do you seek knowledge of the ancestors? Centuries ago, the Vulcans were creatures of emotion. We fought one another in a series of wars that devastated our planet. Our species was on the brink of annihilation. Sirach taught us to embrace peace and to put aside our emotions in favor of logic. Sirach ushered in a time of awakening on Vulcan. His writings, the Kirshara, shaped all that we are. Without Sirach, the Vulcans you know would not exist.
Of course, the Romulans rejected Sirach's teachings, of course, and beneath the Raptor's wings, they left.
Do you seek knowledge of the ancestors? I neither trust him nor distrust the ambassador. I simply do not understand him. He will not reveal his reasons for wishing to speak to the abbot, and has refused a mind meld with me. Normally I could respect his privacy, but other things I have heard trouble me. Do you seek knowledge of the ancestors? Sarketh has spent more and more time away from Vulcan in recent years, and seems ill at ease in what was once his home. T'Pol admits he has changed in the past few months. He spends hours closeted in his study, and does not share meals with his staff as he used to. T'Pol says that the stress of the war with the Klingon Empire is taking its toll. She hopes the peace of Pajem will restore him. Do you seek knowledge of the ancestors? The monks do not use any unnecessary technology. Even replicators are not permitted on Pajem. There is a communications array available to the monks for emergencies. Soketh's request does not qualify. Do you seek knowledge of the ancestors?
Okay, so there we are. We just get a little bit of information about the Vulcans and why he doesn't trust Soketh. A little bit about Surak. So now we're to go here to the green bit and carry on the mission. Is there any way I can persuade you to allow Soketh to visit Pajem?
I will permit it if you will pledge to me, on your honor as a Starfleet officer, that you will protect Pajem from harm. Soketh says his reasons for wanting to speak to the Abbot are private. I will accept that, but only if you are with him. I know I can trust Starfleet. Please, protect Pajem from any who would violate its sanctity.
Okay, so we got his permission. Got the permission from Seven. So now I'll go over and speak with Ambassador Soketh, as that guy rudely walks in front of me.
Welcome to Vulcan. Do you have any questions?
So I've got 4 options here. So I say, tell me about Pajem. What is the business you have on Pajem? I've spoken to Savin. We can leave for Pajem now. I've spoken to Savin, and why doesn't he trust you? So tell me about Pajem. We'll just hear the same thing.
Pajem is a small world near Andoria. It is sacred to our people. There have been Vulcans on Pajem for centuries. In 2152, the ancient buildings that housed our monastery were destroyed by the Andorians.
The Andorians? But they are also part of the Federation.
It was a failing in our logic that led to conflict with the Andorians. We have corrected our error. After the Federation was founded, a group of Andorians, Vulcans, and humans rebuilt the monastery as a symbol of peaceful coexistence and cooperation. Since then, a group of monks has lived there. They studied the ideals of Surak. Do you have any questions?
What business do you have on Pajem?
My business is my own. If you must know more, I require a meeting with the Abbot. He will not use subspace communications. So if I am to receive his counsel, I need to meet with him directly. Do you have any questions?
So we'll just say to him, I've spoken with Savin. Why doesn't he trust you?
How should I know? He is a small man with small concerns. Thankfully, he has listened to reason, and our journey won't be delayed any longer. I am ready to leave now. Is the shuttle prepared for departure?
Let's go. It's attends to the matter we were discussing earlier. I'm assuming I'll be dealing with the captain on board the shuttle. Peace and long life. Yes, Ambassador. Safe journey. Live long and prosper. So he now comes. Lead on, Captain. Okay, so now we head back to our shuttle. Not really much exciting going on. Just got to sort these out. Okay, there we hit. To our shuttle. It's good that it's been fixed because the shuttle's actually shrunk. It would have been quite funny to have seen it shrunk, but it's back to its full size. I'll have to wait for him.
Starfleet shuttlecraft, we have logged your flight trajectory, and you are cleared for departure. Live long and prosper.
Return to our bridge. Okay, on the mission. Not really exciting in this initial part. So Ambassador Soketh has retired to his quarters, Captain. We can leave the system whenever you like, and we'll depart the system. Off we warp. Right for a space station. What's the saying about warp speed? Faster than light, no left or right. I think that's what it is. So head to Pajem, it's over here. So we remember head to the named planet and not the star. Otherwise you're going to have to fly around, because for some reason it doesn't trigger if you head towards the star. But Pajem's only a small thing, so we begin diplomatic orders. So I'm picking up an unusual reading in the system. We should scan the system before we take the ambassador to the surface. Agreed to sensors at maximum. I've just got to sort these out. Right. Torpedoes. Don't have any captain powers yet. Make sure that's these are on auto to kick off. Ships go offline, because they will go offline, and trigger whenever possible. Okay, so again, just like ground scanning, we've got 6 anomalies in this system. You can see 2 of them there. I think there's no one in the asteroid field. Do know where they are, but again, it's just there for R&D purposes. You can collect them, which I probably will. So we'll scan the system. Klingon ships to cloaking, sir. The Klingons.
This is Captain Taggart to all Klingon vessels. Target their warp drive. There will be no escaping our vengeance this time.
Okay, so we're same normal combat. So. One down. Where's your honor? Captain, we're being held by the director. I died. Okay, alright. Also, calm down. No, you're the first officer. Captain, we are being held by the Klingons on the screen.
Cease your fire, Captain. Perhaps today is a day for words. My fellow captains were blinded by our vengeance toward the shapeshifter aboard your vessel. They have died with honor. But if I am to die this day, then I would prefer to regale the halls of Stovalkor with the tale of that foul creature's death.
Shapeshifter.
Ha! So even the mighty Federation has been fooled by the beast. Your guest from Vulcan is not as he or she seems, Captain. They are an Undine. They put on a false face and try to control us. But we Klingons know better. We will hunt them down until the last of these honorless dogs die screaming.
Undine, have you any proof?
Proof? Ah! Allow me to stick a blade in its belly while I look it in the eye while it dies. That should be proof enough, even for Starfleet.
I will take that into consideration.
If you wish the honor of the kill yourself, then it is yours to have. So long as the Undine dies, I will meet my death with eyes wide open and victory in my heart. I await your decision. Close hailing frequencies.
Consult your bridge officers. So we'll speak to our bridge officers. Captain, sensor scans indicate that the Klingon vessel's warp drive, shields and weapons are all offline. I don't think they can. I don't even think they have impulse power. Whatever you decide to do, they can't really do much about it. So we'll discuss it with the science. The Undine are a species that were first encountered by the crew of the USS Voyager. They catalogued them as species 8472. Well, really. That was just a board designation. Just never bothered to ask what they actually were. Kind of just stuck now, and that was Voyage's fault. As the Klingon commander indicated, they have indeed capable of changing shape. Additionally, they possess telepathic abilities that aid them in infiltrating the cultures of their and other species. So Ambassador Sokev could be one. I'm afraid that is a conclusion that we cannot rule out, Captain. I could conduct a test to determine if the ambassador is who he claims to be. Unfortunately, that would violate his ambassadorial immunity. Klingon vessel was waiting for your response, Captain, so we took tactical. The Undine are physically superior to humans and consider anyone from our dimension to be inferior life form. Their vessels are more of a match for the Borg. They represent a great threat to Starfleet. Where is Ambassador Sokev now? The ambassador is still in his quarters, sir. I recommend sending a security detail to detain the ambassador until we are certain of his identity. A sound precaution, agreed. And we'll talk to the engineer, the chief engineer Savara. Yeah. Now, they come from a dimension known as fluidic space. They use quantum singularities to move into ours. I'm afraid much of the technology still remains a mystery to us, and one thing for certain is then cannot be underestimated. So why use a Starfleet vessel? That I can't say, Captain. But as the Undine are virtually unknown to the Beta Quadrant, my guess is that they are aiming to conceal their physical presence here. And the Klingons? What the Klingons are saying could be true, Captain. If the Undine are in the Beta Quadrant, it might just be that the Klingons sniffed them out before us. In this case, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Call the ambassador to the bridge and open a channel to the Klingon vessel. Let's settle this.
My patience is growing thin, Captain. If you lack the stomach to slay the beast aboard your vessel, then any Klingon here would gladly do it for you. I'd hate for you to stain that pretty Starfleet uniform with Undine blood.
Very generous, but unnecessary.
The beast is slain? Makar! Very good. Perhaps you've the heart of a warrior after all. Let me look upon our enemy, and tonight we will dine together as warriors and drink to the honored dead.
I present Ambassador Sokev.
Captain, I take my meditations very seriously. Why have I been summoned to the bridge?
Accused. Your accuser.
Alive? You're a fool, Captain! Strike now before it's too late!
Not without proof, the cat. Good tack.
You want proof? Then lower your shields and allow me to beam over. Once the Undine's blood coats my blade, you'll see it for what it truly is. A Grint hound in Tark's clothing.
Ambassador, allow me to explain.
There's no need, Captain. The situation is not difficult to unravel. My concern lies in the logic of you entertaining this Klingon's meritless claim.
Meritless but it's not unreasonable. But Starfleet Captain will never lower his shields when their enemy ship's present.
A most illogical conclusion. Allow us to examine the facts, Captain. You have a crippled Klingon vessel, whose captain has made unsubstantiated claims that I am an Undine, a species that is known to both the Federation and the Klingon Empire as a considerable threat.
Thus, a reasonable consideration.
Potentially, but only if a great many other factors were to be true. Is it not much more likely that the Klingons have, in the face of defeat, instead sought to exploit Starfleet's desire for peaceful resolutions to conflict in order to repair their vessel and renew their assault?
Status of the Klingon vessel. Weapons inoperable. Warp drive is still offline. Wait. Undetected energy surge. They're engaging a cloaking device. Red alert. Lock on weapons.
A true warrior strikes without mercy, Captain. I only hope to teach you this lesson personally before the Undine does. We may not be able to best your vessel, but a Klingon knows many roads to victory. The beast may have evaded my vengeance for now, but I can still ruin its plans here in Pajem.
Fire. I lost their sensors. I lost them on sensors, Captain. They're gone. Scan the area. Captain, I'm detecting energy signatures at Pajem's surface. They're in the vicinity of the monastery. They appear to be transporter signals. Life signs indicate they are Klingons. I'm taking the away team down. Captain, I shall accompany you. No, it is too dangerous.
A wise precaution. Though I admit I am eager to see my people safe, I will await word until the monastery is secured. And Captain, let not my journey here be for naught.
Awaiting to transporter room 1. Alright.
A wise precaution.
Being down. So, take down our... Well, these are our only bridge officers, so... Here we go. Not really going to worry about scanning for R&D stuff. We could do that off screen. Captain, we need to secure the area to make our way towards the monastery, which is located at the top of the hill. Well, I'm reading multiple Klingon patrols between us and the main building, sir. Recommend we proceed with caution. Stay alert. We need to find the monks. This is Pajem. Nice and lush. There should be 5 on there, 4 on the ground. Get the ground ones that I know of anyway. There's some crates, take those. I do like the fact they're carrying around giant fucking miniguns. It's quite funny. I've kind of made it easier by having upgrading everything to level 2. So another crate over here. We shouldn't be ambushed by those lot. Yeah, the little, when you get like a little dash icon with them, that means they've been exposed to what it's saying there. If you come out and this weapon here, the second ability, that it will basically disintegrate them if they're low energy, no shields, and they'll disintegrate. There should be no crate here. They're flashing, and then fire that, and then disintegrate them. The weapon will flash its second ability. It'll tell you that it's activated to be able to do the expose. So generally what you need to do,
your inventory
if you come in here, you see the bolt being built. I sweep there, it says expose attack. So it's a cone, and the other bolt also does that. If you do to this one, and it's exploit attack. Generally, the general rule of thumb is you have one weapon that exposes them, and then you do the exploit, which is kind of like a critical strike against them. So as long as you've got 2 weapons that do it. So that's how I always roll. Anyway, I have one that does, one that exposes, and then one that exploits it. crate over here. This mission was updated when they released the updates, so it used to carry on after a certain point, but it now ends. So before we head up there to reach the hilltop and speak with the abbot, carry on scanning these. Uranium. So I'm going to speak to the abbot first. I have to wait for red alert to finish. Missions at times will pause to give you a chance to rest, waiting for comm message in your action bar. Sir, we're receiving an alert from Vulcan. The Peddler says that she must speak with you immediately. I'll patch her through to your tricorder, not to my comm badge.
I have terrible news. Vulcan security forces have discovered the body of Ambassador Soket. They have determined that he was killed by a phaser blast at short range. His remains were discovered in a stasis chamber hidden in a cavern beneath the Ambassador's residence. The Ambassador on your ship, the one that I have been working for, is an imposter. You need to be very careful. This imposter was able to fool Soket's closest associates for months. He is crafty and very patient. Now that he has been discovered, he will be dangerous.
Captain, security teams have reached Ambassador Soket's quarters, but he's gone. They're searching his ship, but, sir, unauthorized use of transporters detected. The Vulcan government is requesting that the imposter Soket be detained and returned to Vulcan for questioning. Sir, whoever, blah, English, used the transporters, erased their logs, but I also have a feeling that the imposter is on the planet. I recommend that we locate him immediately. We will find him.
Such emotion on your face. I see now my deception has been exposed. Pity. Capturing the abbot so we could replace him as well would have been beneficial. But we are strong. We will prevail. You are weak, and the weak shall perish.
Okay, so is Undine. I'll put that in my phaser turret. After a while, you just beam off. I recommend we return to the Ford and search the Undine ship. We need to find the Undine and take it back to Starfleet. Not now. So let's see how the abbot is. Right. Now, the old mission used to continue. He would take the form of the captain and drag you all the way down here. You have to fight through all these Klingons. All this area now is just dead. But, however, the other two R&D bits are still down here. So ever get an endeavour to do ground ones, do Pajem. There's 4 of them already here. Again, I'll cover that when we get there. There's one here, and then there's one way down this way. To beaten path. Some more thorium gas, it looks like. What's a cloud? Okay, so we'll beam up now, return to our ship. Yes, beam up. Captain, there is an Undine ship on an intercept course. Sir, the Ford doesn't have the armaments to handle an Undine attack. Starfleet reports that they're sending ships to assist us, but they will be about 60 seconds out. We will have to hold off until reinforcements get here, Captain. If we target their torpedoes, we might be able to stand a chance. There's an Undine ship. Torpedo them. Our tiny little Miranda can't do anything to them, no matter how much we try. We need the help of our lead. Here comes the cavalry. Well, we've got the USS Challenger, the Redoubt, USS Texas, USS Challenger, USS Kirk, and the USS Taggart. The Challenger is Geordie's ship. Well, when you replay these missions with more powerful ship, you can make short work of this Undine vessel, but unfortunately it's level 2 weapons and boom. Downloading the data now, Captain. Incoming message. Incoming message from the USS Challenger, Captain Andrews. Incoming message.
This is Captain LaForge of the USS Challenger. Glad to see we made it here in time to lend you a hand. Perhaps you'll return the favor someday. LaForge out.
We've recovered the final data transmission from the Undine vessel, as well as the samples from organic material that was used to create the ship. All we need to do is to go back to stuff and they will be able to decrypt the message into the small. Now we'll depart the system. and then we'll hail Captain Admiral Quint. Hail Admiral.
The ambassador was an Undine? I'm afraid their infiltration of the Federation goes much deeper than we realized. Who knows what kind of havoc they could create?
So we'll receive 2,600 experience points, 650 expertise, which is used to promote your officers. Well, that's what expertise is used for. Can't think. Data recorder, photon torpedo, personal shield, dilithium.
Congratulations, Lieutenant.
So we're now on rank 4, so we've now picked up an ability, which I don't know what it was. Data recorders, you can listen to Ambassador Spock's narrate.
I've received a report there is a Bolian freighter that is overdue arriving at Earth space dock. It may need assistance.
So, Lieutenant, we've received a report that the Bolian freighter, the USS Azura, is more than 20 hours overdue to arrival at Earth space dock and may need assistance. Dana Bolt is an experienced captain and the daughter of a former Starfleet officer. He doesn't like her to be out of contact. The orders are to head to sector space and find the Azura. I have already transmitted the ship's last known coordinates to the con officer. Good luck. So we'll get the personal con code, some more energy down, shield array, and a field stabilizing warp core.
You are now in sector space. Here ships travel at warp speed between systems. Combat does not take place in sector space.
Yeah, this I know. I don't know why it's done this, because what happened in the old mission journal was different. Stranding in space was before diplomatic orders, so you did stranding in space first, then diplomatic orders, and then you did a whole host of other missions. So that's probably why both of them is getting confused. Stranding in space, so we're going, is actually a shorter mission. I'll just show this. So if you come in here into there, here you've got upgrade, re-engineer, discard, and salvage, and then move to R&D bag. So if you go to do salvage item, you get a little bit of salvage, and then when you come to re-engineering, so you get a cost of some dilithium and a salvage cost, and then you can rework it. So you can like change it. The potential powers are increased capacity, regeneration, phase disruptor protection, phase protection. But that's what salvage is used for. Dilithium, you have to come in here to refine it from its ore form to refined. Yeah, we'll go over that, and you just salvage the stuff. All right. Shield generators are used for. We'll worry about them another time. So I've got some more. Got some salvage there. Take the power cell. Shield charge. So what's the time? Because the Azura mission is actually quite short, I will end it. I'll go ahead over there, but we won't do it because I know how short this mission is. So on Friday we'll do a whole Vulcan missions. So we'll do the wrong button. So we'll do stranded in space, and then that mission. I can't remember what that one is. It's the old Klingon, I think. So we'll do 2 missions. We'll try and do 2 missions and try and do 3 missions here.
To any ships in range, this is Dana Brott of the transport SS Azura. Please help. Warp core containment field down. Radiation flooding ship. Communications and life support failing. Cannot eject warp core. Need immediate evacuation and assistance. Please help us.
Okay. Well, I'll do the Azura. I can't remember how long the next 2 missions are. So I know this one's quite short. It is. So we'll do Stranded in Space. And then Friday.
To any ships in range, this is Dana Brott of the transport SS Azura. Please help. We're being pursued by Orion raiders. Crew injured. Taking heavy fire. Dropping out of warp near your coordinates. Need immediate evacuation and assistance. Please help us.
Travel. Keep the tracking of that distress signal. It makes them look scary, but they're not really that scary. So sensors are picking up a slight light attack craft and interceptors, and they will deal with them before we can render aid to the SS Azura. 4 power to shields, helm takers into range. But first, a little bit of lag going on here. There's some hexafluorine gas, and then we'll proton torpedo, which is the intergalactic way of saying you don't like somebody. Yeah, I don't know if it's still here. Universal greeting for us if we don't like somebody. Got the quote right. Yeah, it's still here. Okay, so when you do this mission, it should be a achievement there. Mining survey. You flew through a giant asteroid. So it's going to say hello to the Corvette. Flight ship is slow again. So annoying. Right, where is this other Orion ship? You stuck in the asteroid, ain't you? So we will scan the Azura. Captain, I'm detecting elevated radiation levels on the Azura. I've alerted the transporter chief of the situation. She can brief you before you beam over to the Azura. Waiting, report to the transport. So we speak to the chief.
Captain, I'm concerned about the radiation on the Azura. She might have some damage to the warp core, but our sensors can't pick up enough to determine exactly what you'll find over there. I'm sure I can send you and the away team to the ship safely, but getting you back might be a problem until the Azura's critical damage is repaired. Step on the transporter pad when you're ready to go, and be careful, sir.
Try to keep a lock on us and prepare to transport survivors. Generally, missions won't do this. They won't make you beam over, but I mean, via the transport room. I think it's nice to just show you there is a transporter room. So I'm picking up multiple life signs. Some of them are the Azura captain and the crew. The rest are the Orions. Plasma leaks are blocking our path to survivors, and we will need to use the consoles to safely vent the plasma. Rescuing the survivors is our top priority. Don't think I can actually help this guy. Yeah, so if we were a science career, we'd be able to help him, but don't think we can. So basically, this mission, like I say, it's right after normally, and it helps shows you if you're. Hello. Don't know what they were doing over there. They're still on the transport pad. Idiots. A sensible nation. Not really much of it. Not really a long mission, this one. All the plasma leak shut down, so we'll go and locate the warp core. Seek the captain. Scanning the warp core, captain. Catastrophic failure of the antimatter containment. Warp core breaches him and the captain. Unless the breach is contained, the Azura will be destroyed.
We hit an Orion ambush on our way to K7. We lost our weapons almost immediately, and then we took a direct hit near engineering. Our warp engine's magnetic antimatter containment field failed. We had no choice but to drop shields and use the power to try to stabilize the containment field. As soon as the shields were down, Orions boarded the ship. I'll never let those green pirates have the Azura. Please, take my crew to safety. I'll keep trying to stabilize the warp core. If I'm lucky, I can buy you some time.
I don't know about Klingons. I'll help you, crew. So, because we're an engineer, our accolade here is going to be to stabilise the warp core. So, if you redirect power to the life support and containment, you can stabilise the core lining long enough to erect a level 10 force field, which should hold antimatter long enough for the Azura to get to a starbase for repairs. It's risky, but unless you do something soon, the warp core will explode. Life support levels at 82%, automatic backup to engage if power to the life support drops below 47%. Are you sure you wish to reroute power to the antimatter containment? Deploying containment field. Rating a level 10 force field won't repair all the damage to the Azura, but you should contain the antimatter to give the ship a fighting chance to survive. If the vessel makes it through the next few minutes, it should be able to limp to Starbase on the impulse power. A shipyard is needed to make all the repairs that the vessel needs to engage the force field. Right, so that's the anomaly's all done, so we're going to turn to the aft thing. Oh, Klingons. So a tactical officer will be able to do this thing. It's the tactical one. He'll be able to kill these guys. Sword masters are probably the most annoying.
No surprise that the cowardly Orions cannot even handle raiding a break. But their call for assistance has given us a chance for glorious combat.
Captain, there must be a cloaked Klingon vessel in the area. We should be on. We should alert the ship. Forward, we have Klingons. Do you like any cutscenes? Head to the bridge. Captain, incoming message from the Klingons. Put on screen. Incoming message.
Now do what's good for you, Starfleet. We are taking this ship, her crew, and her cargo.
The Azura and her crew are under Starfleet protection. Interesting they've changed this to Klingons. I guess it more ties with the war if it's Klingons. It's normally Orions. I'm rather angry against the bloody. Just a lowly, just a lowly Miranda. It's not a fair fight. Have some torpedoes. Captain, we need to get within range to get the transporter lock on Captain Brock. We will save the captain. Scanning is also radiation levels are normal in the force field around the warp core is holding the ship, but she's out of danger. Captain Brock is hailing us and putting us on the main view screen.
Many thanks. If it hadn't been for you and your crew, I would have lost my ship and my life. I'm in your debt. I'm setting a course to Earth's space dock for repairs. If I see you at Club 47, the drinks are on me. I think I might even have a few bottles of Tranya in the cargo hold.
Now the Azura is safely away, sir. We should be able to take the injured crew out the system. Starfleet is sending a shuttle to retrieve them. We can rejoin the Azura space dock. Are you ready to go, Captain? Ready to leave in your ring, on your orders, so off we plop. So hail Admiral
Well
Quinn.
done. You saved that crew just in time.
Congratulations, Lieutenant.
So I got all my veteran bonuses, retrain tokens, extra ship slots. That's nice to know. Level 5. Right. We'll stay out here in the black.
Every skill costs 1 point of the same type to purchase. You will earn 1 space. Every skill costs 1 point of the same type to purchase. You will earn 1 space point every 1 level and 1 ground point every 5 levels until you reach level 50. For each skill purchased, you will earn progress in unlocked paths.
Okay. So the next mission is the, which hasn't popped up yet, so. But I will head back to Earth space dock. So we're now level 5.
Starfleet has lost contact with the Federation's science station in the Kasei system. Because all communications from Kasei 2 must be boosted by a satellite that compensates for Metreon isotopes prevalent in the system. It may be that the communications array is in need of repair. Please make the necessary repairs to the communications array and re-establish contact with the science station.
So we're going to the Kasei system. So that's all the way down there. So that'll take a while. That'll take an hour just to get there. So I'll head our little ship down there, and I shall end this. So we're into the Kasei system for rescue. I can't remember what that one is, but we'll do that one as well. So I'll do 2 missions there, and then. Well, I think we'll chunk out 3 missions because that one is a that one we have to wait for a queue. That's Robin and Minefield, so try and crack out 4 of these. Well, what we'll do is on Friday we'll finish off all the Klingon War. So do research or rescue, depending on how long it takes, but or depending on how long the queue is for that one for Minefield. And then we'll do the Robin and Mystery. And then on Sunday I think it's here. No. Well, we'll find out anyway. So thank you very much for watching, or watching this back, or however you want to do this. But so I'll head off to the Kasei system. So heading south. It's a long way off because we've only got warp 5 at the moment. But thank you very much for watching, and live long and prosper.